Either a clear no response from God. So I thought I will need more time to hear from the Lord. So meanwhile, I did a little analysis about the situation. With my little wisdom I have in my my mind was telling me not to accept the offer. The last thing PCC needs is another leadership transition. Besides, I don't know really if I have the capacity to succeed as ATL. The shoes of Kuya Tom are so big for me. Mine is only size 7. However, I am fully aware that my wisest opinion is foolishness to God. God's ways is oftentimes different from ours, and I don't want to decide on my own apart from God, especially with a major decision like this. So when the deadline for me to give my decision arrived, I told Kuya Tom that since I didn't hear from God, I don't want to close the door by saying no, so that God has still enough room to decide for me. In other words, I'm not saying no, neither saying yes. I'm just allowing myself to be included in the process to give God more room in my life. I don't want to shut the door on God. Instead, I kept it open and entrusted to God fully my faith and that of the organization. I continued to pray about it, but God chose silence as an answer until I forgot about it. I can't imagine to be chosen to that position only to leave another major vacuum in PCCC. But in the first week of July, something crept in. And let me share with you some of my entries in my journal. On July 5, 2012, I wrote in my journal, "For the past days, God has been speaking to me in relation to the challenge for me to take the responsibility of area team leader. God first spoke to me through Mike when he challenged me to take the possibility seriously and pray hard about it because I was not doing that. Secondly, God spoke to me through my devotion in Exodus 3 and 1 Corinthians 1, verse 19 to 31. From these passages, God answered all my questions about my ability and fit, if just in case I take the job. Thirdly, God has spoken to me through Jim Welchel, where he explained briefly and candidly about the need of ASEO, and that need I can possibly meet. After that explanation, I realized, that indeed, I can contribute something in ASEO. And lastly, God spoke to me through a friend of mine, a pastor. His name is Pastor Yu Nguyen, when he gave me Joshua chapter 3, verse 7 to 10, and challenged me to really take the lead with the assurance of God's presence and miracles. And that's odd, because Pastor Yu doesn't know my situation, doesn't know about the challenge, and yet, in our brief conversation, he told me that the Lord told him to tell me to expand new territories and not just do maintenance. The Lord seems to leading me to take the challenge seriously, I guess even in great fear. I have to accept the challenge. Now it is up to the Lord to lead me. If He will close the door, then that is a no, and I will serve God through PCCC faithfully. But if God will keep the door open, I will not close it myself. I will let God be God and have Him the total control. My only fear is my tendency to commit sin and fall. I don't want to put His name to shame. I want to finish well. I don't want to bring down the organization with me, but want it grow through God's leadership." End of my July 5 journal entry. Then in July 31, days after that, I forgot all about it. I forgot that journal entry of mine. I forgot that God has already spoken to me, and I thought God is still silent. And so on July 31, I wrote a lot of stuff in my journal. And then I close it with a prayer. And this is the prayer that I wrote in my July 31 journal. I said, Lord, forgive me for not relying on you all the time. A major decision that I have to make is a major decision that I have to make is the offer to take Kuya Tom's position. You were silent, Lord, about it, or maybe you were not. I just don't want to listen. Lord, let me hear you clearly. Remove all the things that are hindering me from hearing. I am now asking you for your direction. Lord, let me see your direction. End of my July 31 journal entry. Then in August 25, I received a text message from Kuya Tom while I was in Iloilo, enjoying the team, doing coaching training among the LLM and SLM leaders there. And then informing me that after much prayer, long deliberation, intensive reviewing of the profiles of all the candidates for ATL and the extensive interviews of many leaders about the candidates, the global executive team decided to appoint me as the next ATL. I was surprised. I was expecting that I will still be given another chance to give my piece before a decision be made. But God reminded me that I entrusted to Him the privilege of making the decision. Then why am I complaining when I was not given the chance? Perhaps this is God's way to tell me that He already made the decision in response to my commitment to entrust my faith fully to Him. That night, God broke His seeming silence. He led me to the book of 2 Kings, and below is my journal entry in August 26. I quoted 2 Kings here. In the 3rd year of the reign of Israel, King Hezekiah became king of Judah. He was 25 years old. I am 45. At least similar yung ending, 5. When he began the reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. He did what the Lord approved, just as his ancestor David had done. He eliminated the high places, smashed the sacred pillars to bits, and cut down the Asherah pole. He also demolished a bronze serpent of Moses he had made, for up to that time the Israelites had been offering incense to it. It was called Nehushtan. He trusted in the Lord of Israel, and in this regard there was none like him among king of Judah, either before or after. He was loyal to the Lord and did not abandon him. He obeyed the commandments which the Lord had given to Moses. The Lord was with him. He succeeded in all his endeavors. And then I continued writing in my journal. I said, this is the message I received from the Lord last night after inquiring from Him about the news I just received that I was appointed as the new ATL. I felt nothing about my new appointment. Perhaps it doesn't sink in yet. I was expecting to be afraid because of the natural tendency of man to fear the unknown. But yet, fear wasn't there. I was expecting to be sad, disappointed, for it cut short my stint as PCCC NTL, and I won't be able to take the lead anymore in pursuing the reformation in PCCC and our dream of transformation in our country. I have to entrust the privilege of leading to someone else and fully trust God that His choice will indeed bring us to where we are dreaming to go as a movement. Yet this feeling of sadness and disappointment weren't there either. I was also expecting to be glad, proud, and excited knowing that our global leaders put their confidence in me. But these feelings were not there also. All I know is that I have to do faithfully what my Lord is telling me to do, no matter what I feel, nor what I do not feel. End of my August 26 journal entry.